extensively. We're going to read about that. Read that real quick. Remember, we just read earlier, drunkards will not inherit the kingdom. Let's read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
So it says, woe to them that rise up early and start drinking early. You understand? It's going to be destruction. Now let me ask you a question, because it's usually something behind that. Why do you struggle with drinking? What's going on? Why do you find yourself drinking often? Stress, right? I get it. I understand that. But go back to Hosea chapter 5 verse 15 real quick. Remember, we just read earlier, those sorrows of mine, that stress, it comes because we're being cursed as a people. You understand? Because we did not keep the commandments of God. Read that real quick.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15.
Read.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So, once again, you say you might be stressed out. You say God is not hearing your prayers. He say he's going to return to his place until we acknowledge our offenses. But guess what? That's why we're here today, to show you some of those offenses. Read on.
Until they acknowledge their offense and seek my face in their affliction, they shall seek me early.
He said, in your affliction, now you're here. Now you have to start seeking the Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Now,
that's chapter 30, verse 21. Because what we want to do is we want to show our people the problems and give them solutions. You said you drank because of stress, right? That's what you said. You smoke or drink? You don't do none of that. You know about us? So what you waiting on?
I just found y'all. I just came up the street. I stay right on this street. And I said, I know that ain't. So I said, let me pull up.
All right. Listen to this. Read this. Hey, what's your name? L. Listen to this. Read this.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
What you think that means? Give not thy mind over to heaviness. What that mean? I'm asking. I'm asking you. What you think that mean? No, we ain't Christian church out here. That ain't the answer. Read it again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
Give not your mind over to heaviness. What that mean? Huh? Okay. It means whatever you got going on, don't think on it. Don't give your mind over to it. Because what you do is, when you get that stress, now you got to rely on the cigarette or the alcohol. Read it again.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
When you afflict yourself in your own counsel, is you constantly thinking about stuff. You constantly thinking about the bills you got. I got this going on. I got that going on. You afflicting yourself in your own counsel. God said not to do that. I'm going to show you what he said do. Jump down to verse, where is it at? It talks about, read verse 23.
Verse 23. Love thine own soul.
Read it again.
Love thine own soul.
Read.
And comfort thy heart.
Read.
Remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow hath killed many.
Now, how do you comfort your heart? How do you comfort your heart? I'm asking you, how do you comfort your heart? I'm talking to you because you said you got a problem, right? You're stressing. How do you comfort your heart?
drinking.
That ain't how you comfort your heart. Not to the point to where you get drunk. Not to the point where you can't think. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking, but it ain't. If you gotta drink every day, then that's a problem. You agree, right? If you gotta drink every day, that's a problem. You ain't got that much stress going on in the world, so you gotta drink every day to get drunk. That drink becomes your God now, because you're relying on that.
Right.
Read it again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee.
Read verse 27.
Verse 27. The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunken moderately.
It says, if it be drinking moderately, read on.
What life is it then to a man that is without wine?
Read.
For it was made to make men glad. Wine measurably drunk.
It says what?
Wine measurably drunk.
Read.
In season.
And in season. Measurably drunk and in season, not every day. So you gotta get off, you gotta lay off the alcohol, bro. You gotta lay off of it. You gotta stop drinking every day. Pull what you got and get Isaiah 41. Now let me ask you, so you gonna come to the school? You serious about this?
Yeah, what time, like, I know y'all say on Saturday.
The class start at 3.
On Saturday?
Well, the class start at 4, but you want to get there a little earlier.
All right. And y'all this way?
What's
Time drive.
Times drive? 8444 times drive.
Yeah, I know where y'all at.
Yeah.
All right.
How long you been knowing about this though?
About 2-3 years now.
So-
I would say.
So what? Okay, let me ask you this: what progress has you made for them 2-3 years? Like, what have you changed?
Well, you know, the way I look at the scripture, it's a few things, you know, I don't know, I used to drink, but I wasn't heavy into it.
Yeah.
You know, honoring my Sabbath, staying away from my pork.
So you know not to buy and sell on the Sabbath?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What you doing out here today?
I really came in and saw y'all.
Oh, you seen us? Okay. So now, what about other things? Like where are your friends? So on the friends.
I ain't know where to buy them from, to tell you the truth.
Okay. You can get it from a lot of places. You can get it from Amazon, Hobby Lobby,
Okay.
Joanne. What is it? Joanne still open?
Yeah.
Joanne's.
Yeah.
You can get it from Israelite.org too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, y'all got a website?
You got a website. You can get it from my website. The website is Original Royalty. Original Royalty. You can get it from Original, but not today, obviously. You know, not today.
Yeah.
All right. So you got any questions?
So when we talk about the Sabbath, because this is my issue or whatever. Well, it's not an issue. I want to know, when does it start? Does it start
Proverbs 79.
Friday night to Saturday night?
It starts Friday sundown. Whenever you can't see this, when there's no more light, that's when it starts.
All right.
Read this real quick.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
And in the twilight, and in the evening,
what?
in the evening, in the black and dark night.
So the evening is dark and black night. Again, Leviticus, I think it's 23 and 32. From evening to evening. This is how you celebrate the Sabbath. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown.
All right, that's what I've been basically doing, but I didn't heard something else. But I'm like, that's the way that I know it. That's another day or night or something like that. When day comes, it's another day. When night comes, it's another night.
When it's dark, the day begins. From evening to evening.
Right.
So when it's dark, that starts a new day.
Right.
Read this. Is that it? 23, 32?
23 and 30.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 32. And it shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
From even to even. So when it's dark, it starts, and when it's dark Saturday sundown, it ends.
All right.
See what I mean?
I ain't doing nothing on them days. I'm chilling at the house.
Well, now you got somewhere to go now.
Yeah.
You got somewhere to do.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I'm on Friday, so Friday is Saturday.
Oh, yeah, read that.
Come today.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, so much the more as you see the day approaching.
So now you know it's a commandment for us to congregate.
Right.
So now, okay, you know that. What, you don't got no more other questions besides the Sabbath day?
Trying to think. It'll come to me.
How do you feel about the Gentiles? You know who the Gentiles are?
Pretty much everybody that's not from the 12 tribes.
Okay. But we were once considered Gentiles before, right? You knew that, right? Let me show you 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Because when we celebrate other things outside of the Bible, that's how we became Gentiles. Not in the flesh, but spiritually. You see what I mean? When we celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, all of those other holidays, we act as if we are Gentiles. Read this.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 2. Know ye not? Know ye that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led.
It says ye were Gentiles because we was acting like the other nations. Ezekiel 20 verse 32. Heathen, Gentile, all those other nations. But when the Lord refers us to Gentiles, it's because we were acting as them. Acting as them.
Right.
At one point in time, God had cast away these people. See, when you come to the school, we could go into a little deeper history of why we became Gentiles and why the term Jews and Greeks. When Christians say neither Jew nor Greek, what that really means. We can go into it. Read that real quick though.
That's Paul, right?
Yeah, that's Paul. Read. Where you at? Ezekiel 20 and 32. Yeah. Come on, bro.
I be trying to explain this to my girl. I'm like, man, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. You and
Right.
don't do that.
Right.
No, ain't no Christmas tree stuff in my house. This is my house. And my mama's house, it was a little different. The house that I paid for, ain't no Christmas trees. Ain't no Christmas. Ain't no.
So you didn't know about that? You didn't know you're not supposed to be celebrating Christmas? You didn't know that?
Christmas lights, none of
What
that.
you feel like you feel like you celebrate Christmas? You don't celebrate it? Why you looking at them like that then?
I celebrate for family. I can't go now.
So you ain't supposed to celebrate it with them either. Because if you know it's wrong to celebrate it and you celebrate it with them, you just teaching them an evil lesson.
Right.
You just basically saying it's okay to do it. But read this real quick.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone.
You see that? So when we want to be like that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be like the other nations. Heathen, Gentiles, the same thing. But go to Galatians chapter 3. We're going to explain that to the brother real quick. About Jews and Greeks. Because you got to think about it, right? Read this.
The book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
So now watch this. It says it's neither Jew nor Greek. We know that the Jews were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? Those were the Jews who were keeping God's commandments. But he says there's neither Jew nor Greek. So what does the Greek come in? You know about the captivities? Okay, give me some. Oh, call off to this. They had the Babylonian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, they had the Persian and Mede captivity, then they had the Greece, and then the Roman, right? So he said that's neither Jew nor Greek. It's something that happened to where Paul was calling the Israelites Greeks.
When they got basically grafted into their culture or whatever,
right?
You know, that's why, you know, basically Jesus sent his 12 disciples to, you know, go out, you know what I'm saying? They forced them to become Greeks.
Right.
They
forced them to stop keeping the commandments. I'm gonna show you.
Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they had to take the names because they got captured.
Right.
That's Babylonian.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not their real name.
No, it's not. It's their slave names.
Yeah,
same thing like Smith, Jones, Johnson. That's all slave names. Read this though.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41.
Right.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. All should be one people.
Don't they say that in America? We all one people?
Yeah.
That's what they say, right? Read on.
They say.
And everyone should leave his laws.
We have to do what?
Leave his laws.
Read on.
So all the heathen agree
All the other nations agree. Read.
according to the commandment of the king.
Read.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
See that? So some of us say, all right, we going to be like the heathen too. We going to assimilate. We going to become just like them. Read on.
And sacrifice unto idols.
Like, give me the part where, give me 2 Maccabees 6 and 6.
Sure.
So some of us consented, and then some of us was forced. Read this.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So they couldn't even call themselves Jews. It was a law to where they couldn't call themselves to be a Jew. You couldn't keep the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
It was a law against it. Read on.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Read on.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles shall be put to death.
You see that? Yeah. So if we didn't confess, if we didn't say we were Jews, if we didn't say that we were Greeks and follow to their fashions and follow their customs, they put us to death.
Right.
Like crucifix and all that other stuff they had.
So now think about it, right? This was the Greek captivity, right? What captivity came after that? The Roman. So think about the hundreds of years that passed on of us assimilating into their custom. We forgot who we were. We acknowledged ourselves to be actual Greeks. Because remember, if you think about it, right? If you had a son and they told your son, you taught your son all the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? And then a law comes where they tell your son, look, you can't do none of the things your daddy taught you. So everything you taught him, he got to stop doing it. So now when it gets to his son, your grandson ain't gonna know nothing about it. He gonna think he an actual Greek. He ain't gonna have no knowledge of being an Israelite. That's what happened to us. That's what's happening to us in America now. Now we think we African Americans. Now we think we blacks. Now we think we Hispanics. But Paul is telling them there's neither Jew nor Greek. Read on. Go back to Galatians 3:28. Read on.
Galatians chapter 3 verse 28. There's neither Jew nor Greek. There's neither bond nor free.
I say there's neither bondman or free. What you think that's going into?
There's no, basically there's no difference between somebody being, locked up or not locked up.
Yeah, okay, I can take that, but it's also going into, remember, we had a law to where, if, like say for example, right, I fell on hard times and I wanted to work for you. I'll put it like this. I had some land and I couldn't afford my land. You pay for my land for me. And you say, well look, I bought that land for you, you gotta come work for me. Now I'm your servant.
Basically my slave.
No, not a slave, a servant. Because I'm working for you for a point of time.
Okay.
Let's say you bought my land and you say, okay, you gotta work for me for 5 years. So I'm your servant for 5 years. I ain't no slave. I'm working off that debt I owe you.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
So when it says, go give me that in Leviticus 25 and you know what I want? Read it.
The book of Leviticus chapter 25 verse 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Take thou no usury of him or increase.
So you can't tax him. Usury is taxes. You can't tax me.
Whatever you owe is what you owe.
That's it. Read on.
Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase.
So this was a servant this was a brother who worked for another brother.
Right.
That's the bondman. Right? Go back to Leviticus 20, Galatians 3 and 28 again.
Galatians chapter 3 verse 28.
Bring it up.
There's neither Jew nor Greek. There's neither bond nor free.
So it says there's neither bond nor free. That's just going to somebody that's free. Somebody that's free. Read on.
There's neither male nor female, for you're all one in Christ Jesus.
So Paul is telling them, it don't matter if you a Jew or you was raised up in the Greekish fashion. It don't matter if you was born free or born in servitude. Don't matter if you male or female, you all have a chance to get the kingdom. But it's not talking about the other nations. It's talking about us who came out of those Gentile-like customs.
Right.
That's where the confusion come from.
That's where the confusion always been.
And I told my friends that like they didn't confuse us and gave us our book back to us, and now it don't make sense. But it only makes sense once you take them out of it and put us in it. That's the only way it makes sense.
You gotta be able to rightly divide the word. Give me Joel chapter 2 verse 21. And then come back up.
They stole our stuff.
Because there are when you gotta understand it, you gotta understand the context. When it's talking about redemption, it's going into Israel. Anything going into damnation is the other nations. Because think about it. Read this.
Verse 21. The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 21.
Bring it out.
Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice. Yes, sir, verse 27. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
He said, I'm the Lord your God and none else. Malachi 3 and 6. It never changed. God never said he was going to bring the other nations in. When they talk about being grafted in, that goes into the history of these 10 tribes being cast out. God wasn't dealing with them. That's when you go in the book of Acts, when Peter and Paul begin to teach the northern kingdom that they can have salvation.
Right.
That's all that's talking about. It's not talking about other nations being able to come in and he never gave the commandments to them.
Right.
It's like the Good Samaritan lady or whatever.
The Good Samaritans.
She was from the tribe that was cast
Get that
out.
real quick. Go to John chapter 4. Hold that and get John chapter 4.
I know I wasn't tripping. I understand.
This is the key point that Christians don't pay attention to.
They
Read
don't want
this.
to. They pay attention. They don't want to pay attention.
Read this.
They ain't gonna tell you that in church.
The book of John, chapter 4, verse 1. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees. Yes, sir. John, chapter 4, verse 4.
Listen to this, bro.
And he must needs go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph.
So he said near to the parcel where Jacob gave his son Joseph, right? So now we know that's dealing with the 12 tribes.
Right.
He and his people in, right?
Right.
Read on.
Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus said unto her, give me to drink.
Read on. Let's see what she says. Read on. Come to verse 9.
Verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou being a Jew askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria?
Why? Why would she ask Jesus that question? Why would she say, you ain't even supposed to be talking to me?
Yeah. Then she know better.
Get Hosea, I think it's 4 and 17, I think.
I guess she knew better.
She knew that the Jews wasn't dealing with the northern kingdom.
Right.
It's history in 1 Kings chapter 12, where they had beef between Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and Ephraim on down. They wasn't dealing with each other.
Like a civil war.
It was like a civil war. It was a disagreement amongst the tribes.
Right.
Later on down the line, they went into idolatry and God wasn't dealing with them no more. That's how they became Gentiles.
I read about
Is that what I want? Hosea 4 and 17?
Book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 17.
Bring it out.
Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone.
So don't deal with them. That's the prophecy. Ephraim has turned to idols. Let them alone. Hold that. Get Hosea chapter 1. And I want to show you this real quick. Hosea chapter 1 where it says, Lo ami, for they will not no more be my people.
Verse 9.
Verse 9, yeah. Read that.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 9. Then said God, call his name Lord on me, for ye are not my people.
See that? He said, call him Lord, because you are not my people, read.
And I will not be your God.
Go back to John chapter 4, verse 5. This is why she's saying that. Because the Jews wasn't dealing with them. There was like other nations to them. It was just like a heathen.
Ain't that the same way? Ain't that the same way like Jesus was walking, the woman was asking him for a blessing?
That's something different. That was an actual Gentile.
Okay.
She was an actual Gentile asking to get a blessing.
Yeah.
We can touch that too real quick.
Yeah.
But let's finish this right quick.
Hey, cause I gotta go.
All right, read this.
The book of John, chapter 4, verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? Verse 12. Art thou greater than our father Jacob?
She asked, are you greater than our father Jacob?
Both y'all fault.
Exactly. If I say we about to go by our daddy house, that's both our daddies, right? So why would she say that if she was from another nation?
Yeah, that makes sense.
She was from part of the 10 tribes.
Yeah. Right.
And Jesus was ushering in the part of them coming back into the faith, but he had to do it first. He went and spoke to her first. When you read on, the disciples was looking at people at Christ like, why he talking to her? Because they knew they wasn't dealing with them. That's the history. That's part of the history that the Christian church don't know. 1 Kings chapter 12. That was the split between Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom.